Monday is the deadline for the majority of federal employees to get fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The Biden administration's vaccine order affects about 4 million federal workers. It does not allow for regular testing and masking in place of vaccinations. However, there are medical and religious exemptions. The mandate applies to federal employees of the executive branch, government contractors, and certain healthcare workers are subject to less stringent policies. Joining us now for more is Rainey. She's an employment and immigration reporter for Politico. Rebecca, welcome. So how effective has this mandate been in terms of getting more federal employees vaccinated?
I think that's really yet to be seen. The government's probably going to put out some information, I'm sure, touting that, these workers have a high rate of vaccination after these requirements are in place. Looking to examples within the private sector, we've seen, United, even Tyson, Foods, touting that once they, initiated a vaccine requirement within their own companies, that they saw, nearly 97% compliance. So looking, to these examples, we'll likely see a high rate of compliance among federal workers. Something important to keep in mind is that tomorrow's deadline specifically applies to, federal executive branch employees. That's, workers at federal government agencies, but they also may be, not just in Washington, because federal government agencies have field offices across the country.
Sure. So, Rebecca, what do we expect will happen to employees on Monday who aren't fully vaccinated?
So I think it's really going to depend on what the agency rules are. And I think something important to keep in mind, too, is that a lot of these federal agencies are unionized. So a lot of these agreements about how this requirement is going to go into place is going to have to be ironed out with the union. Also, I think that given that the government has a clear legal right to, initiate these mandates so far, under the law and under its interpretation of the laws, people who don't comply with the mandate are likely to be terminated.
Well, the rules are less strict for federal government contractors. Has there been pushback from that group?
Absolutely. There is, especially before, so going back a little bit, the requirements for federal contractors were expected to land a little bit earlier than they actually did. Once Biden announced this in September, there were a lot of government contractors who were threatening to simply not do business with the government anymore. They said, this requirement is just going to cost us too much money. It's not worth it. That being said, when the Biden administration announced this requirement for private companies, they said, we're just going to, put all of the deadlines in the same place, and basically pushed back the requirement until January 4th. Which was a relief for some because that seems to land after the holiday season. But in reality, when you know what a fully vaccinated means, which means 2 shots of 2 doses of a vaccine, either Pfizer or Moderna, you then have to, wait 2 weeks after that. It takes time to reach that status. So while it gave contractors a little bit of a reprieve, from the deadline, they are still going to have to be dealing with compliance issues, this next month as well.
Well, I want to ask you about another COVID rule coming from the Biden administration. A federal appeals court temporarily blocked the requirement that workers at businesses with 100 or more employees get vaccinated or be tested weekly by January 4th, which you were alluding to. Where does that order stand now?
So that stay is still in place. What happened was there was so many legal challenges against this private vaccine mandate. And I know it's so confusing. We've got 3 different rules here that we're talking about. So I'm just going to remind those tuning in. This is for private companies with 100 or more employees. And that was supposed to go into effect on January 4th. So because the Fifth Circuit stayed that rule, currently it is frozen. The OSHA cannot, the agency that is implementing the rule, currently cannot do anything to get that rule ready for, for implementation by January 4th, which is kind of frustrating for the agency because that means even if they do, succeed in court ultimately, they may be hobbled because they may be a couple weeks behind on getting the rule ready to go.
And Rebecca, there are also millions of unfilled jobs in the U.S. right now. We've been talking about that ad nauseum. I'm wondering, just are terminating workers because of vaccine requirements realistic? Is that in and of itself, especially when we're talking about these private businesses, is that facing a lot of pushback?
I would say from the business community, absolutely. I think something that we need to think about when it comes to the labor market, though, you've talked about how there's so many unfilled jobs, and we're wondering why so many workers are not going back to work. I think, workers are also going to have the choice, because this private vaccine mandate applies to companies with 100 or more employees. If they don't want to get the vaccine, they can just go work at a smaller business. So that's very frustrating for these large companies who are trying to attract and retain talent. But ultimately, it is a workers' market right now. We are seeing a lot of people quitting, and they have the ability to do so. And unfortunately, there is a lot of legal questions about why the Biden administration picked that 100 employee threshold for private businesses, and they've suggested that it may go down as well, that they've thought about revising it down to even smaller companies. But we will see what happens there. Again, the rule is currently stayed in court. So, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, we've also heard from other employees that that part of the reason that they've remained out of the workforce right now is because of the risk of COVID. So we'll see how all of that plays out. Rebecca Rainey, thank you.
Thank you for having me.